There's a Talmid Chochem in Bnei Brak, his name is Reb Tzvi Yabrov. Big Talmid Chochem. 13 years ago or so, when I put out my Midah Keneged Midah Chelek Beis, he did the Maftechos for this Sefer, and he told me that at that time, he did more than 750 Maftechos for Sfarim, including the Stipulus Kiros Yankov. This was 12 years ago, so since then we did a few or more hundred. Big Talmid Chochem, and he himself put out some Sfarim. Very Choshev Sfarim. Good. So one day, he goes to Reb Chaim Kanievsky, and Reb Chaim is on his way back from the shul to his house. It's a 2-minute walk. And he meets Reb Chaim on the way, and he says to him, Rebbe, can I ask you a question? Says, yeah. I heard in the name of the Chazon Ish that Nebuchadnezzar was one tefach tall. You think Paro was a midget, 1 amma, 60 centimeters. Nebuchadnezzar, it depends if you ask the Chazon Ish, 10 centimeters. Or if you go with Reb Chaim, no, it's only 8 point. Is it true? Is there such a chazal that Nebuchadnezzar was 1 tefach tall? 1 tefach. Reb Chaim says, yeah. So Tzvi Yabrov says to him, Rebbe, where is this in Chazal? Reb Chaim starts thinking, and he's thinking, and he's thinking. Not in Bavli. It's not in Yerushalmi. After Mincha, by Reb Chaim, there would be 100, 150 people standing there, a big line, wanting to come in to get his bracha. Tzvi Yabrov and Reb Chaim are walking up the steps, and he says to him, come up with me. And they go into the house. Reb Chaim closed the door, and he starts looking. And he takes out this medrash, and this medrash, and he looks in this sefer, and in this sefer, and he can't find it. There's 150 people outside waiting, and Reb Chaim is looking and looking and looking and looking. 45 minutes, and he was not able to find the source. The Tzvi Yabrov goes back home. In his shul, in Bnei Brak, davens a guy by the name of Weinberg. He is the one who's in charge of the Bar Ilan responsa. You know the Bar Ilan responsa with hundreds and thousands of Sfarim and hyperlinks. It's an unbelievable tool. Like Oitzer HaChochma. So Tzvi Yabrov goes to Weinberg and he says, do me a favor. Maybe you can check with all the computers. Where does it say in Chazal that Nebuchadnezzar was only 1 tefach tall? Reb Chaim said it exists. It exists. We just have to find it. So Weinberg goes back to the office and tells his people, help me out. And they do all kinds of searches in the computer. It doesn't exist. What can you do? A week later, Reb Tzvi Yabrov comes back to Reb Chaim. He says, Rebbe, I don't know if the Rebbe remembers last week I was here, I asked the Rebbe if there's such a thing that Nebuchadnezzar is 1 tefach tall. You know, I asked Weinberg, he's in charge of all the computers, and they searched so many different ways. It doesn't exist in Chazal. And Reb Chaim starts smiling, no, I already found it. It's in Yalkut Shimoni, in Daniel, Remes Taf Reish Samech Beis. He says, but he did all kinds of searches. He says, Reb Chaim, yeah, of course. You probably wrote in the search, Nebuchadnezzar, tefach. But there's another word that Chazal used for tefach. It's called pushcha. Pei vav shin chaf aleph. It says over there in Daniel, Nebuchadnezzar, nanasa, pushcha. He was a midget, 1 tefach tall. Reb Tzvi Yabrov asks Reb Chaim, Rebbe, can I ask you something? Last week I was here. You stopped everything to try and find the source. There's 150 people outside. Why was it so important? It's not a pikuach nefesh shayla. It's not a halacha lemaise. Don't want to say, but who cares? There's 150 people outside waiting. Reb Chaim Kanievsky looked at Reb Tzvi Yabrov, astonished from this question. And he says to him, but I forgot part of my Torah. How can I continue? But I forgot part of my Torah!